What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am the Beaver. And even though Halloween is over, that don't mean that the scares have left with it. Because Welcome to Derry has dropped its first two episodes. And yeah, we're diving straight into full-on spoiler territory. If you haven't watched yet, hit pause now and come back to the video later. Everyone else, join me as we take a trip back to Derry and see what Pennywise has been up to in the past. Let's get into it.
Like this, subscribe, like this video.
The 2017 and 19 films, I believe, did a pretty good job on its depiction of Pennywise, but this prequel, it's dark. They didn't pull any punches with the first pilot. So episode 1 opens in 1962 as we follow a small boy named Matty Clements. We watch him sneak into a movie theater to see The Music Man. By the way other people talk about Matty, it is suspected that he comes from an abusive household and is also bullied by his peers. He then hitches a ride out of Derry. While the first car ignores him, he is then picked up by a family who claims they are heading to Portland. At first, the family even had me fooled for a second, thinking it was a friendly family. But once the girl in the back seat pulled out that raw liver, I knew Pennywise was in on it. When Matty caught on that something wasn't right, he tried to get out of the car by even jumping to the front seat and trying to turn the steering wheel, and ends up hitting the mother, which resulted in her giving birth to a creature who ends up killing Matty. I ain't gonna lie, that scene was pretty gross. I'm just being honest. 4 months later, we meet the Hanlons, Major Leroy Hanlon, his wife Charlotte, and their son Will. A subplot that felt unnecessary at first until episode 2, but we'll get into that in a bit. Meanwhile, a group of kids, Lilly Bainbridge, Teddy Uris, Phil Malkin, Susie Malkin, and Ronnie Grogan, become obsessed with Maddie's disappearance. They claim to hear voices in the sewers, which prompts them to come together, put their differences aside, and investigate what happened. And this is where the show really picks up. The kids sneak into a theater to investigate. They play an old film reel, and Maddie shows up on screen. He blames them for leaving him. Then the same creature that killed Maddie bursts out from the projection. This next part is what really surprised me. Teddy, Phil, and Susie all die. Episode 1 kills off half its core cast right off the bat, letting the audience know that no one is safe. The massacre sets the tone. The adults cover it up, the police gaslight survivors, and Derry moves on like nothing happened. Episode 2 picks up with the fallout. Ronnie's dad, Hank Grogan, the projectionist, gets blamed for the killings. No bodies, just blood. Lily's forced into Juniper Hill Psychiatric Hospital, and if that name rings a bell, it should. That's where Henry Bowers ends up decades later in the films. Inside Juniper Hill, Lily sees things. Her dead friends, her own reflection twisting into the entity's face. It was terrible. Meanwhile, Leroy Hanlon gets dragged into a military conspiracy. Some weapon has been found in the woods, and the people who find it don't come back. It's a weapon that the US government wants to use against the Soviets, since this takes place around the Cuban Missile Crisis in the height of the Cold War. Will Hanlon starts school and makes friends with Ronnie. Will is the ancestor to Mike Hanlon, the future loser who stays in Derry to track the cycle. The episode ends with a car found deep in the woods, filled with half-melted bodies. The military realizes something was unearthed beneath Derry, something they can't explain. This series so far shows why Pennywise thrives in a town like Derry. The fear is systematic, corrupted police officers, children in asylums. It's a machine built to look away when there's trouble. Let's talk some pros and cons I have with these first two episodes so far. For the positives, this series has a very strong start, regardless of how gross that opening scene was. Still a great way to open the series, along with a great way to end the first episode. The show captures the classic eeriness of Derry, and might I add, maybe even more than what we remember. And the subplot with the Hanlon family really ground the story, and it makes it interesting to see what they have up their sleeves. As for the cons, as good as episode 1 was, maybe it could be throwing too much too fast at us. The military subplot might overexpand the mythos, and there are moments where the CGI does look like it has a TV budget. But that's really nitpicking at this moment. It's still too early to tell, so yeah. Welcome to Derry is off to a wild start. It's ambitious, and that's the kind of stuff I wanted to see out of this. Now, things may change now till the finale, but I'm hoping they take the necessary steps in the right direction. What did you think of episodes 1 and 2? Let me know down in the comments below. Hit like, share, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram, X, and TikTok at TheBeaverX. Stay tuned for more episode reviews in the near future. Plus, I got another top 10 list coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.